I have 75,000 people have paid for my online course. I have 11,000 people currently in a notary mentorship group. And I say that because everyone always asks me, how did I do it?
Welcome to the Creator's Adventure, where we interview creators from around the world hearing their stories about growing a business. Today's guest has had over 75,000 people pay for his online course, and you'll want to hear what he says to do if you want to grow in 2024. Hey everyone, I'm Bryan McAnulty, the founder of Heights Platform. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, we're here today with Mark Wills. He is one of the highest producing notary loan signing agents in the US, the owner of a national loan signing service, a best-selling author, and the course instructor of loan signing system. He has taken everything he learned in the nearly 20 years of being a top producing notary and created a step-by-step system anyone can apply to make money as a notary signing agent. Mark, welcome to the show.
Man, thank you for having me. So glad to be here, man.
Yeah, so my first question for you is, what is the biggest thing that you did or are doing that helped you to achieve the freedom to do what you enjoy?
Helping other humans. I mean, without the ability to help other humans, I wouldn't be in the position I am today. And so, when I set out day one with the notary training course, it was to make sure that I can teach another notary how to feed their families and how to make sure their families got what they need. And so the way I got where I am today is by really focusing on just transformation of other people. And I always tell people it's the truest win-win. My family wins with a very, good revenue business, but more importantly, I get to help other families. And so focusing on transformations is really how I got where I am today.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. And that's a really big motivator for me as well in my business with online course software. Building online courses, helping other people learn, helping other people earn money. Mm-hmm. It's really a fulfilling thing to do. And ultimately, I think it's important have some kind of goal in your business where the fulfillment is beyond the money that you can earn from it.
Well, if we can riff off that point, I've built a pretty big, online community. I have 75,000 people have paid for my online course. I have 11,000 people currently in a notary mentorship group. And I say that because everyone always asks me, how did I do it? And the answer was, I only focused on helping one human. And I think a lot of people come into online course because they see the big money. And they're really focused on, I can monetize my knowledge versus saying I can help another human. And so to your point, I love that you're the same way I built my business. And that's really focusing on the helping another human, not the money. If you focus on helping a human, I believe the money always comes. And so people always ask me, Mark, how'd you build this? And I said, look, I only cared about helping one other notary. If I can help one notary, I know I can help a second one. I know I can help a third one. So I think a lot of people enter this industry with the end in mind of money, not the end in mind of transformation, someone taking your course. And so if I can really help someone today really realize that the money comes from transformation, because nothing better is social proof in our business. It doesn't matter how smart you are, it matters how smart you are, can you help somebody else? And so my notary course can help people. And that's what leads me to making sure I'm so passionate and wake up every single day to do what I do. So I love that you're on the same path as that.
Awesome. Yeah, I love to hear that, because I always say that you want your course, your product, to get people results. That's right. That's what keeps them around. That's what helps everything move forward. And you see people that they come up all of a sudden, you hear about this person, they're selling something, and all of a sudden they disappear.
That's right.
And you wonder, are they not really getting people the results that they're looking for? So
I'll take that one step further. I'll take it one step further, man. I don't know where people are in their online course journey, but there's going to be a point where you got to do paid traffic. And paid traffic is only going up. What I pay now for a Facebook ad, what I paid versus 7 years ago, is exponentially different.
So much more,
yeah, right. It's crazy. So I tell anyone who asks me for advice is the way to offset future increase in digital marketing costs is by getting referrals. And the only way you get referrals is if your product works. And so what I tell a lot of people is your current customer is your best revenue generator. Because if they tell 3 people, you've now offset the cost for your Google ad click, right? You've now offset the cost for your YouTube pre-roll ad. And so again, I think people are lost in this oh, Mark, teach me how to, what's your digital funnel look like? And I said, it starts with actually helping somebody, because that's how it lowers my ROAS. And I think that's lost on people is your best salesperson is someone you've transformed. Your best salesperson isn't how sophisticated my 3-part funnel is, and isn't how sophisticated your email is. It's, can my product actually help? My product helps people. I can help someone make money. And I know I can help someone make money because I put everything into that, where I find a lot of people who try to put everything into the digital funnel. And they say, you're backwards, man. Put everything into your course. Put everything you got. Well, Mark, I bought Russell Brunson.
Because even if you get that perfect with that complicated funnel, you get somebody to buy. You got one person to buy. Whereas the other guy who didn't have that complicated process, they got somebody to buy and they were so happy with the result they got, they went and told 3 friends.
That's exactly right. And so, yes, and like I love this conversation, because if that clicks, then you'll change your life and someone else's. And that's the true win-win in this business, And so, I said my notary course works. And why? Because I literally put 18 months into the course. People don't see that. People say, oh, Mark, you have 11,000 paying monthly subscribers. What they don't see is the first 2 years, all they focused was on the course, not the digital funnel. I focused on getting it better and getting feedback and getting it better and doing feedback. And so now people see and go, Mark, what'd you do to get here? And I'm like, I focused on my product. I focused on transformation.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm so glad to hear that, because I love to hear when creators really focus on the product like that. And that's exactly how I think about everything as we're finding out with each other here. But for those watching and listening, I didn't know this about Mark beforehand. We're just getting to meet each other now. Yeah. So I'm glad that we get to connect over that. So you've built a highly successful career as a notary loan signing agent. For our listeners who may not be really familiar with that, could you explain a little bit what exactly a notary does, and then how did you become one of the top producers in the country?
Yeah, so a lot of people hear the word notary and they think to themselves like receptionist, at a law firm. They think to themselves, oh, $2 per stamp. What a lot of people don't realize is mortgage closings in America cannot close without a notary. And those notaries watching someone sign their loan documents literally make $150 per appointment. And these appointments rarely take more than an hour. And so what I have done, and I built a really good career within the notary space, but then I'm like, hey, why am I not helping other people do this? And so the way I built my online course and my notary business is really being hyper-focused on the customer experience. And so, what I love about business is business is business is business. If you can build an insurance company, you can build a restaurant. You can build a restaurant, you can build an online course. And once you understand the principles of business, and it's really over delivering, you can really build anything. And so in my notary business, I focused on a real estate agent and how I can exceed their expectations. I would make $150 per appointment. It takes simple math. You do 2 or 3 appointments a day. I was making $150,000 a year as a 25-year-old. I was like blown away. And so then all my friends were blown away. They're like, man, I'm still struggling as a bartender. Can you teach me? And so in the beginning, it was just very innocent, where I was just like, look, I'm making this money in the real estate, notary real estate niche. Let me teach you. And so then from teaching other friends, my business partner was actually like, let's take this nationwide and try to help everybody. And so a lot of people don't realize that every real estate transaction in America, a notary is needed to be hired, and they actually don't charge per signature. They charge for the service of walking someone through their loan documents. You don't need a college education. You don't need any experience. You don't need any real estate experience. You can learn all that. And so that's why my course has been so successful, because I can take somebody who's an Uber driver, a stay-at-home mom, someone looking for a side hustle. I'm like, look, real estate agents need a notary. Here's what you got to say to get that notary, that real estate agent to use you. And I've been able to find a reproducible digital funnel to help get more people to change their lives. But yeah, it was just a very organic, I'm crushing it as a notary. Well, my buddies were like, I want to crush it. And then one of my buddies, it just clicked. Well, why aren't we taking this online? And you can help more people than just, the 8 buddies I've helped. So it was a really cool stair step of me just figuring out the old school way, failing, learning, then teaching my friends from don't do what I did. This is how you exit. So, I have so many students today. I have some students making $1 million a year.
Wow.
And then with the notary placement business, and then I've actual signing agents. I've more than I can count making 6 figures a year. And so, part of the online, screwing this back to your audience, Bryan, is, it's really about trying to find a reproducible system. And that's what I found with what I do. And that's why that course is so successful. It's just a really reproducible through social proof. But yeah, man, that's how it started. I was kind of lost out of college, got a notary. My buddy's a realtor. He's like, dude, these notaries are making $150 a pop. You should be doing the same thing. I'm like, Say what? And he's like, yeah. And so then I realized that real estate agents, loan officers, escrow officers hire notaries every day. And here we are, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's an interesting example that a lot of, especially beginner entrepreneurs, have this suffer from the grass is always greener syndrome and
Yes.
always think, oh, somebody said I can do this and I can make money or do this. And I think this is an interesting example. Like, I didn't know a notary could make
Yeah.
that much money and be that successful. And like, so really, whatever it is that you start working on, eventually there's a way to make significant money in it.
Yeah.
So rather than jump back and forth, just keep working on it, keep learning it. And like, as you did now, not only did you become so experienced in making all that money from doing it, but now you can teach other people and impact them as well.
Yeah. No, you said it so perfectly. And what I had a little imposter syndrome in the beginning of my course. I'm like, I'm a random notary in San Diego, right? I'm doing well myself, but I'm like, why would this person in the middle of Tennessee take a course from me when I'm just a random notary, in San Diego? And then what I realized is, a fourth grader is a rock star to a third grader, meaning that like, I just need to know a little bit more than someone I can help. And that's when my imposter syndrome went away. I was like, look, I don't need to, I may not be this, a teacher of somebody for 90 years. I'm just someone who has a skill set and I can teach that skill set to someone who doesn't have it. And so once I got kind of over that imposter syndrome, realized that like, I can help other humans by just knowing a little bit more than them. And then it's tried and tested. And now, it's the limit, man. I go on podcasts like yours and trying to help everybody I can, whether it's making money as a notary or someone starting the first online course, so I can give value in both of those. I just want to see everybody win.
Yeah. Yeah. We saw how you mentioned on your website that loan signing system has become a top 1% online course in America.
Yeah.
What would you say are some marketing strategies that you found to be effective for promoting that? Because I imagine, or maybe there's similarities, but I imagine the way that you promote that is different than the notary business itself.
Yeah, no, it's night and day different, frankly. But, here's what I'll tell every new online course creator. It doesn't matter if you're at $500,000 a year, is social proof is your best friend. And so what I think a lot of new online course creators, the mistake they make is they're trying to make money in the beginning instead of creating and gathering social proof. Because you should be giving your course away for free in exchange for a testimonial or transformation, some proof that you can transform. I get hit up all the time. Mark, I want to spend $1,000 for a course. I'm like, we can get a whole high ticket course. I have an opinion on the high ticket courses. We can get to that later. But they're more focused on like trying to monetize out of the gate. And I'm like, how are you going to get someone to give you $1,000 if you haven't shown you can help 20 people transform their lives in whatever it is? And so to answer your question, is my complete funnel is about social proof. I get social proof from every single student of mine. And I want to collect it from different people from different walks of life. I want people to see yourself in the person they're listening to. So another mistake people do is they get social proof right out of the gate and they forget to keep collecting it. But I want someone of all ethnicities, all ages, all backgrounds. I want former firefighters, former police officers, former teachers. I want someone who's 18. I want someone who's 70. I want someone who's black, white, Asian, Latina. So I'm constantly in this social because I need somebody to see themselves in that person. So to answer your question, I've hyper focused on collecting social proof, but not just to collect it. There's also a lot of intention behind who I'm collecting it from. And so I marketed my business through my product actually working. I can help you make money as a notary. I'm uber confident in that. So in the beginning, I just wanted to get it out in people's hands. Can you take my course? Can you get results from it? And once you get results, can you just give me a video testimonial back? And I think if online course creators focused on transformation, the money follows. So that's your answer, man.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I do think that there's some creators who you tell them, you know what, you should give it away for free in the beginning. You should make it really cheap. Just try to help people get that social proof. And I think there's some that will listen to that and they go along with it and they say, yeah, that all makes sense. But they don't really go as far as you're telling them to.
That's
and
right.
I think they worry that they're not really thinking from abundance and they're thinking like, I'm going to use up all my clients and then give it away for free. And like you will get so many more clients when you get those testimonials rather than just convincing like the couple like 100 in your email list right now.
Well, I'm going to say something that might bum the online course community out, but here's the truth. Information is commoditized in 2024. You can go to Chat GPT and be like, teach me how to lose weight, teach me how to, give me a nutritional plan based upon my being a vegan and allergic to fish, and it'll give you the best meal plan in the history of meal plans, right? The truth is someone can go on the internet and be like, oh, notary, how do you make money as a notary? But what I think people need to understand in 2024, if you're building an online course, is you got to build a community. And so part of the social proof is creating a community, is my point. So I have 11,000 community members. They're not students, they're community members. And I actually have 70,000. We're LSS Nation, like we recognize. And so I think what people need to understand when you're building a course is very few times will people buy information in 2024. What they will buy is a movement. What they will buy is a community. What they will buy is support. And my course has transitioned over the years. It used to be just information. Now it's community. I have 11,000. I have free community meetups all over the country because I understand the importance of making someone feel like they're seen, heard, and part of something bigger than them. And so people go, Mark, well, how do you have such a large subscription base? It's because it's a community, man. You can find out how to do notary stuff on the internet, but you will feel alone. Right, you're going to want to have a question answered, and you want to find someone who looks like you, feels like you, and is next to you in geographic location. And that's what I really focus on currently as my course is still growing. It's community, community, community. And if I can get to know any online course creator listening right now, like, you should be more focused on trying to create proof community. And by the way, you get that through social proof. Right? You get people, different walks. Oh man, a Mark's community is so amazing. If you go on my website, it's all about Mark's community. And I always tell people, I'm just one person of 11,000, man. I am the least coolest part of my community. It is the members that make it amazing. And so,
that's exactly it. So I completely agree that you're 100% right there. You have to make that community because that can't be replaced by ChatGPT.
That's right.
Because that's the connection with all these other people who are like-minded, who are doing the same thing, who are all working towards that same goal.
That's right.
And you just touched on it there, that the value is not just you, it's the whole community and everybody in it. And so you could actually not even be there anymore. And it could just 100%. Be everybody else. And it still has all that value.
Right. And it goes back to my beginning statement with you, man. If people would put themselves, I don't know if you read this before, but the best marketers have the characteristic of being empathetic. And so the best marketers are truly has the most empathy. And not all of us have empathy, right? I believe empathy is a skill. But my point is, if you put yourself in the shoe of who you're trying to transform, ask yourself, what do they need to succeed? That's being empathetic. Like, what do they need? And if you really think about it, they need community. They don't need information. They need people to know that if they're down, someone can bring them back up. And so and again, when it comes to being empathetic, the movement, the transformation has to be bigger than money. And it's not about money with me. It's about, I have a pretty massive online course. I still do the new student webinars. People are, Mark, you have 75,000 students and you still get on every Wednesday and you talk to new students. Absolutely. Because it's not about me. It's about them. Like, I would be so appalled if I paid somebody money and I don't actually get to talk to them. And so it's because I'm empathetic. And so if I can, and it's because it's not about the money. It's about transformation. It's about helping another human. And I think the online course industry is so unbelievable because in this time in history, we can share our experience like no other time in history. And if we share it with your heart being first, money always follows. But I get people like, Mark, I want to charge $5,000 for a course. The fact you're even thinking about money tells me you're going to fail. Because I get it all the time. Mark, dude, oh my God, I'm so good at XYZ. You think this is a $5,000 product? And I'm like, dude, you've lost already. You got to be in it for the human aspect of trying to help and transform. And when that happens, I have 75,000 people take your course in 7 years, right? And it's really speaking to them from an empathetic standpoint. I've been in your shoes, and I want to help you through wherever you're going through. And so if an online course creator could really dive into that. And I tell this to my students, it's actually not relative to being an online course. If you're a business owner, my students are notaries and they're talking to
100%.
realtors, be empathetic to the realtor. Like, what does the realtor need out of you to help their family? And so this thing of empathy, if you really get to that level of your clients, like, you'll make a ton of money because you're changing a ton of people's lives.
Yeah, definitely. And Like for me, like a lot of people say like, oh, I want to like not have to deal with my customers. I want to just make all the money. And I agree. That's the wrong way to look at it. For me, I actually spend more time in our
Yeah,
support ticket inbox than my own personal inbox.
that's
I
right.
don't check my personal email. I have an assistant to check that
Yeah,
because it's people trying to sell me something or something like
yeah,
this. But the support inbox, that's my customers. That's the
that's
people I
right.
care about. I want to
That's
make
right.
sure that I'm serving them to the best of my ability. So
Mm.
that's where I actually spend more of my time when
Yeah,
it
it's
comes to
beautiful. And
communication.
your community is lucky to have you, man, because there's not a lot of people who really have that what I call a heartfelt business, and so it's beautiful that your community have you, man. So there's a lot of online course creators out there who are just in it for the money, and so when I meet someone else who just realizes that it's about human transformation, it's a beautiful thing, man. So I'm definitely glad our paths have crossed, brother.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. So you touched earlier on Facebook ads and online
Yep.
advertising continuously getting more expensive. What do you think is the best place for a creator in 2024 to advertise if they're going to start with paid
Yeah.
advertising?
YouTube. I mean, YouTube, as you know, and your audience probably knows, is the second largest search engine. But what I love about YouTube is you still don't have to pay unless they interact or watch for a certain time. So you can still get branding across for free. I don't think a lot of people realize that, right? So if you do a pre-roll ad and they don't click, or if they don't watch a certain amount of time, you don't pay a dime for it. And so I think YouTube is one of the best ways to get free branding and also your best ROAS, because if they click, they're actually, you've really filtered out the intent. They're like, wow, they're clicking because they want to know more. And so I think YouTube
Yep.
is a great place to start. But here's what I would tell people is, actually, everybody always asks me about this too. And I tell people, the main focus an online course creator should have is building an email list, period. And so
Hmm.
I have a 300,000 opt-in email list. So my main thing is how do I build an email list, not necessarily how do I run ads. And I think people are looking for that quick answer. If I run an ad, they're going to buy a course, and you really have to have a nurture process, right? And so, not to take a right turn on your answer, but I really think the key is to getting an email list and the nurturing the email list. And what we do, is we use paid ads mainly as a way to retarget or nurture through the purchase. And so we don't really use paid ads as top of the funnel because it's so difficult to discern that, right? So we usually really use our paid ad, and we have a hefty paid traffic, but it's usually in more of a nurture standpoint than a top of the funnel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the email list is super important. Like as a creator, I would say social media following, whatever platform it is, it's almost completely irrelevant if it's
That's
not
right.
directly contributing to the email list.
That's
So
correct.
you could have a social platform that's not actually growing, but if your email list is growing in the background, however that's happening, that's all that should really matter.
That's correct. That's correct. I mean, you should have, the best way. Everybody always asks me, what's the best way to get, emails? And in the industry, they call it a tripwire, right? I like to call it a value offer. And so the best way to have your value offer has to hurt you to give away. And so,
Mm.
how do I get 300,000 people? Is I'm like, it hurts. I'm like, oh God, they don't need to buy my course. But that's when the value is so good, they're going to exchange an email for the value. And so I think a lot of
Mm.
times, early online course creators think that, by giving too much away, no one's going to buy anything. But it's 2024, dude. Anything you have here, they can get for free. So you just got to be the person who can explain it the best in a way that connects with them. And so if you go to my value, in fact, I encourage everyone to go to loansigningsystem.com, go to opt in. You know what I mean? See what it is. Look at my 48-person email drip. Like, kind of emulate what I've done. I mean, the system's right there. We do a 5+1. It's so what that means is we do 5 emails of value, and then the 6th one's a sales email. So we actually don't ask for any money for 2 weeks. Where a lot of people go like, oh, here's a great email, here's great ad copy, click here for for a 30-day trial. We don't even touch that. We want to give you value, then ask you, like, hey, here you go. If you need some more help getting through this, we'd love to have you part of the LSS Nation. So, yeah, I mean, the value offer is the most important thing, and it should hurt giving it away.
Yeah, that's great advice. For somebody launching a course this year, it's their first course ever, should they be building that first, in your opinion, or should they build like the flagship product first?
Well, the very first thing they should do is build a product that transforms and gather social proof. Because Your email should have your social proof. Your paid ad should be your social proof. Your B-roll on YouTube should have social proof. The number one thing that makes people buy something is social proof. That goes almost without saying, I hope, to your audience. Like, no one's going to buy something they don't believe you can transform them by seeing other people being transformed. So the very first thing people should be doing is making their product unbelievable, then collecting social proof, and then all that social proof goes into your massive funnel. People create these funnels without any social proof. I'm like, no one's going to buy anything. Because how do they believe you've helped somebody else? And so the first thing, in my opinion, is create your course and then get social proof. And then those social proofs should be based around whatever your funnel looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, it's all about like show, don't tell. Like, you could go ahead and explain all about the benefits of
That's right.
whatever it is that your program's going to offer. But you could also just show, like, look, here's the result. Here's what I did for this person and this person. And that speaks so much louder.
Yeah, the classic adage is facts tell, stories sell. Like, you should be telling stories all day. Like you just said, it's facts tell. So, just because your car goes 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, that's the facts. The story is, you get this new car, you're going to get a hot chick. And so what's going to sell? The fact it goes 0 to 60, or you're going to get a great date. And so facts tell, story sells. You got to be sharing stories, man. And your stories need to be of real transformation. The only thing I focused on was helping notaries in the first 2 years. Nothing else mattered. I knew if I could help other notaries, they would be my best sales force, and I'd get enough social proof to help the rest of the world, the rest of the country. And so, again, I think new online course creators have it backwards, dude. Don't worry about the money. Worry about the transformation, and the funnel will be built off the transformation.
Yeah, it's great. I'm curious, is there anything maybe different from what you've already mentioned that in the course of building all of this that you only realized after, I don't know, much longer than you would have wanted to?
Yeah.
And that this was actually the right way to do it when it came to promoting this business?
Yeah, I mean, what we learned, and we need to constantly remind ourselves, is SEO is one of the best free ways to offset paid traffic costs. And I think a lot of people, I'll speak for me and my team, it's a constant reminding of ourselves. SEO, are the blogs updated? Can we still drive traffic through just people doing good old-fashioned search? That is free. And there's tough to beat free, you know what I mean? And so, what we say now is constantly remember, SEO is still a very good free traffic source. And so making sure that we don't forget about people typing into Google, Yahoo, Bing. We do them all, by the way. We run paid ads on Yahoo, Bing, and at Google, so we're not just focused on Google. But what I will say is, really remembering that SEO is king. That's what we always say inside our team meetings, is remember SEO is king. And so it's really reminding us that SEO is kind of the highway, and everything else are exit off of it, right? So, but it's the SEO is the highway, and reminding ourselves of that is something that we constantly need to do in our marketing meetings internally. And maybe that helps somebody else here, because you can't beat free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so forgetting about...
For those who are wanting to get started with that, do you happen to know the numbers of like how many blogs you guys have published or publish per week or per month?
Hundreds. We have hundreds of blogs. And so, I mean, it's reminding ourselves we still need new ones, because Google ranks for new blogs posted. And so it's a constant battle of reminding ourselves that just because we're on top of notary, if you type in notary loan signing agent, we're number one. But sometimes you forget that if you get stagnant, that Google penalizes you. And the next notary training course behind me is making massive blogs to like rank up higher, because free is free. And so it is really reminding ourselves that we try to do 2 or 3 blog posts a week, every week, and just really focus on the 20%, not the 80. Which brings me to another point, is, which I teach my students, is I think online course creators focus on the 80, not the 20. I mean, the 20% of things that really going to sell your course and lead to transformation is all you need to worry about. Too many times online course creators are worried about the 80. Oh, my lighting's not perfect, bro. Your lighting's not going to be determined whether you transform somebody or not. It's the information inside that. And so it's focusing on the 20. And for us, the 20 is always reminding ourselves SEO is king, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great advice. And I've heard people say about, oh, well, there's ChatGPT now, don't worry about Google anymore. But like, I can attest to, like, the majority of the internet, they're still searching on Google all the time.
All the time.
Like, there's so much traffic that you can capture from that. The one thing is, like, it does take time to build that up. So you should start that now. But it's really fulfilling. Like, we've gotten to the point now with our blog that we post something, and then the next day, like, we're getting trials from that article. And it used to be like, you start off and it's like, hope something happens with this in 3 months. But you've just got to keep at it. And then eventually Google starts to recognize, oh, okay, this person, they're really a publisher. They're publishing this kind of content, starts to figure out all of that. And then it's just free traffic that keeps on coming from all of those posts that you've written.
Yeah, I mean, look, and there's like, I'm sure maybe people have read books, but if not, let me just kind of give a little advice here. Your blog post should have videos, and videos make them stay on the page longer. The videos, if it's to YouTube, will make you go back to your YouTube channel. Now your video has more views, and now if someone's on YouTube, your video gets ranked higher because you have more views, and you artificially pumped up the views because you posted it on a blog page. So every blog page should have a video, and so everything should be working in concert. So it shouldn't be one or the other. It's like you have a blog, turn into the video. Your video should go on YouTube. YouTube should link back to your website. Your website should link back to your tripwire. And so when you realize that everything works in concert is when the real digital marketing magic happens. And so many people just focus on the blog. I'm like, yo, just throw a video up there, and that should be connected to your YouTube channel. And so when someone's going over to YouTube, you're now ranking higher in that because you've artificially increased that view through your blog, and then your blog should be going out in your email. And so now you're driving traffic to your blog page artificially through an email traffic. Now Google's going to rank it because now your blog page is getting more lands. And so it's really making sure everything works in concert. And so I hope that helped a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. All right, awesome. Well, one more question I have is, on the show, I like to ask every guest to ask a question to the audience. So if you could ask our audience on anything, whether it's something you're curious about, something you want to get everybody thinking about, what would that be?
I think it's the theme of everything we talked about is, why are you creating an online course? Like, why? Is it so you can get rich question. Or to help transform somebody? And I hope it's the latter. And because if it's the latter, your life will change. So ask yourself, sit with yourself, why am I really doing this? Is it a money grab? Odds are you're not going to crush it. Now, you could. But when I say the odds are you're not going to crush it, because what it's going to keep you through the late nights. Usually money's not enough to make you do the 20-hour days, reshoot the 14 YouTube videos because you stumbled so much. But if your goal is transformation, you'll do it. And so, my question to the audience is, why? Why did you choose to be an online course creator? And I hope today brought you value. Every day I wake up trying to give another human value, and hopefully today brought someone value, man.
Awesome. Love it. All right. Well, Mark, before we get going, where else can people find you online?
Yeah, loansigningsystem.com. It's loansigningsystem.com. My YouTube channel has 8 million views on it. Go there if you want more interactive information. Instagram, Loan Signing System. TikTok, Mark Wills. So I'm all over the place. I'm not hard to find in the notary niche. And if you're looking to make money in a side hustle you never heard of, being a notary could supplement your online course creation. So thank you so much, Bryan. It's a pleasure meeting another heartfelt, driven entrepreneur, and I wish you nothing but luck. And if I can be of any value to you, brother, you have my email address, and keep building, keep crushing.
All right, awesome. Sounds great, Mark.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. Later.